Hello, this is Unlimited Splash, where we get better at Magic together through a new draft every day. And today I'm taking one more crack at the Phantom Golden Sealed event in Midweek Magic. Let's build some sealed. This time I'm prepared for the number of rares to be absolutely explosive. But let's see if anything jumps out at us. It's not a very informative screen. Summon Bahamut, I know, was a little bit too expensive in Final Fantasy. So let's see what jumps out at us. So I do think that 2-drops and having a small number of colors is extremely important in the golden pack style of sealed event. I don't have quite as aggressive an option, it seems, as I did in my last video where I just had like 6 super good red 2-drops. But it does look like between white and red, I do have a fair number of early plays. I'm just going to pick out cards that I know were really good in their format. Kaido was quite a good one in the Foundations limited meta, and I remember this Kitesail Larcenist was a pretty good one in Lost Caverns of Ixalan. The Lunar Whale was also fairly good in Final Fantasy. What else have we got here? Vincent Valentine is overpriced, not very effective. Cruel Somnophage was not very good. Cruel Claw's Heist also was not really that high a performer. I think my black on the whole is fairly unimpressive. Brass's Bounty was also quite a weak one. Oh, but Esper Origins was one of the best cards in Final Fantasy Draft. Oh, I actually have quite a lot of 2-drops in green, although I will say Tifa Lockhart, this is not really a limited card. And yes, the Cornucopia was quite good. This is a card that can splash you. So this time I do seem to have some fixing. Oh, Saz was absolutely one of the best cards in Final Fantasy. Yep. Hide in Plain Sight, this, as I recall, is a 2-for-1, a very good one as well. So it does look like we have options between like white aggro, red aggro, green rampy beatdown aggro-y stuff. It does look like we have options in that space. Double Golbez is a bit of a waste, unfortunately. Genova is quite a good one. The double War Leaders call plus Joshua. Okay, that really makes me think that Boros is a strong option. There definitely is a problem with number of playables in this format. Both of the runs I've done, I have way too few cards in any color to be properly happy. But having now looked through my pool, you know, I'm really not inclined to play cards with a whole bunch of double color pits or basically 3 color cards under any circumstance in this format. I think I'm much more likely to want to do something super streamlined. So let's take a look at Boros aggro, although I will say green white also seems like there might be something there, and maybe even green red. But let's look at Boros aggro first. So I would say we really ran out before hitting playables in Boros aggro. I kind of like the bottom of my curve, but it's not like it's a super fast deck. And I'm leaving a bunch of board wipes on the sideboard here. Well, I guess Relive the Past maybe could be playable, but 2 board wipes and then some really bad, pretty much just unplayable cards. Maybe I could play this, but now we're really scraping the bottom of the barrel. So I think it's not going to happen for Boros. I'm going to take a look at, between these two, I would say probably red is offering a little bit more. So I'm going to take a look at green red next. So I again ran out, and I think probably the same thing is going to happen with white. I do have a bunch of these Boros multicolored cards, so I'm wondering if between Starting Town, Lush Portico, and Sunken Citadel, maybe I play green white with a red splash or green red with a white splash, something like that. So I'm going to look at that next. Okay, so after fooling around a bit with blue and black and other options, I almost literally, maybe literally do not have enough cards to play a 2-color deck, which I think has a lot to do with the number of multicolor cards that you get when you're playing all rare game mode. So in the end, I'm going with a minor splash into white. It's a bit of a suspicious splash. I don't really have enough sources for it, but playing essentially all of my fixing 1 planes, and then I can play the War Leader's Call in the Dollmaker Shop, which I think go kind of nice in my deck. And then I'm playing a few clunkers, like it's going to be hard to cast this triple triad. I'm playing this because it's, I think, almost, I'm basically playing my 2 colorless cards just to hit playables. And I am playing Ancient Cornucopia, which I guess helps the splash. But other than that, basically the idea is just curve out. I mean, my curve is not amazing. I have no 3-drops, so only 1 3-drop. So we try to go 2 into 4. But yeah, let's see how it goes. I mean, basically the idea is if I can fairly reliably just play some creatures early on, then hopefully I can just win some games essentially by default. Okay, while we're making these decisions about our opening hand, I do want to say I post a new draft video every single day, whether you are super experienced at limited or just trying to figure out how to get some cosmetics in midweek magic. I do post drafts where I try to talk through all of my decision making and help my community get better at limited right along with me as I get better at limited every day. So if that appeals to you, do go ahead and click subscribe using the link below. I am just going to mulligan this one because I'm missing red. This one's perfectly fine. So this is a green land. I do think this hand's actually good. We have a green land. I might put back the land. I can't recall if I'm on. I think I'm on the play here. So it's a little risky to put back the land. But I think I'm just hoping to hit a land, play my cornucopia. And then, so essentially play a 2-drop, play cornucopia, and then play the 4-drop, something like that. Putting back the land is risky. I'm not totally sure if that's the right call. But yes, I will play the tap land first. And then turn 2, we will play Draconautics Engineer. Oh, nice. So this guy goes nicely with the A tier and pre-wen that we just drew. But I think let's start with Draconautics Engineer. It gives us a nice turn 4 play to just exhaust it and make the dragon. This card, I recall, was really, really, really grotesquely good in Aether Drift. Okay, at the beginning of your upkeep Servile 1, you win the game if there are 8 or more different names among... Okay, doesn't really look like a limited effect. I guess they're just on an all rooms deck. That's pretty funny. All right, well, in with the Engineer, I'll play the Ancient Cornucopia. Really hoping to just make a 20/20 with A tier and pre-wen. I could exhaust that for absolutely no effect. Let's not do that. So next turn I'm on 5 mana. The turn after I can play this. So I would really like to have Raubon down. But I'm more likely to just make the Flying Dragon. Oh yeah, that was for a while at least the best card in Foundations, I believe. Okay, play this and then I think I just want to play Raubon actually. And I will not offer the trade with the Engineer. Actually, do I? Do I offer the trade with the Engineer? Because if they don't play another blocker, I could play A tier and pre-wen. Well, no, I think this is fine. All right, so we have a very simple game plan. Attack with this guy, put the equipment on something, crashing in for 21 or 20. Yes, 21. All right, you create a token that's a copy of a creature you control. Oh, that's extremely good. That's extremely good. Yep, that's extremely good. All right, I'll take it. And then my turn. Okay, that's a little annoying. From exile. So I probably... Okay, Ovia is pretty bonkers with the Raubon plus A tier and pre-wen idea. Maybe I'll just play Safer Almasi for right now. Ovia is kind of nice because it puts my stuff... So it would give one of my creatures trample and double strike if I had those two in play. All right, I will take that action, please. Next, and let's attack with the Draconautics Engineer. Because this is the one that can get +1/+1 on it. And now it's a double striker. Okay. So I'll give it +1/+1 and double strike. It should first strike down the spider. Very nice. Ah, another non-token creature. Yes. So this didn't trigger because it's not a token. Oh, maybe I could have attacked with Draconautics Engineer into this now that I think about it. Oh my goodness. I just can't play my my A tier and pre-wen. Okay, so that's still a token. So let me play this card. And we will start attacking with double striking tramplers. Sounds pretty good. So I'll go in with Safer Almasi. Actually, it might be better to go in with Drake. Yeah, let's go in with Safer Almasi. So it's a 3/4 trample double strike. Pretty good. All right. And then I should be able to attack with a next turn with a 19/19 trampling double striker. That sounds nice. All right. Creatures you control gain flying and lifelink. Yeah, I remember that card. Oh, Jumbo Cactuar. I can put that one into play at the end of their turn. Well, okay, I'm just going to go ahead and play this. I will attack with Raubon. It gains double strike, and I will attach the equipment to it. 1919 trample double striker. Ward, pay 19 life. Oh, that's kind of sweet. I like my deck. All right. A quick victory for us. I do feel like that could have gone a lot faster if I could have gotten that 6 land sooner. Not really playing much of a ramp deck, although the Cornucopia did produce that 6th mana that we needed. So kind of liking my deck. I mean, this is a very tough... Ooh, 40 gems. Heck yeah. That's an awesome reward. Yeah, I do... Does that mean that was like a mythic rare that I already have 4 of or something like that? Well, anyways, for a deck that was struggling on playables, like you're always seeming to struggle for playables in this game mode. I do like my deck. I think the secret to this game mode is play 2 colors and as aggressive as possible, because nobody has a mana base that makes any sense. And is probably playing a maximally greedy deck across as many colors as possible. So you can win games by default just by playing to the board, keeping your number of colors reasonable. Here I'll probably play Raubon rather than Esper Origins because I found my land. If I hadn't found that 3rd land, I would probably play Esper Origins just to make sure I'm going to hit a land next turn. Okay, so here I'll play this, and then I'm going to play the Dollmaker's Shop, and then I will attack with Raubon, and I get to make a toy. No equipments. And to unlock it is 6 mana, including 2 white. Okay. Really hoping to get a land and play Saz next turn, but if not, I can always play Esper Origins. Actually, Chainsaw, I can equip to... Right, so you can make a 3/3. No, you cannot make a 3/3. Yeah, I think they missed the... Oh, right. No. Yeah, this is an end step trigger, so everything they did makes sense. Okay. Kind of really want to play Esper Origins to hit a land, but isn't it just better? Yeah, it's just better to play the Sharp-Eyed Rookie here, I think. Eventually, I can play the Chainsaw whenever they play a creature. All right. Okay, so I have to declare targets every single time. That's pretty annoying. Yeah, whenever they play a creature, I can Chainsaw it and then put the Chainsaw on a toy. That's pretty scary. This toy holding this Chainsaw, that's a pretty scary combination, isn't it? Yeah, so it does look like they're doing a similar game plan, just playing to the board with green and red, but so few rares actually cost 2 that having 2 drops in your deck is just a colossal advantage, and having them in your hand. Also, my opponent stumbled a bit. They started with 2 green mana, then they seemed to draw their red. All right, unfortunately, it seems Arena user Lex Lightning has chosen the coward's way out of disconnecting their client without resigning. Please don't do that. The other person has to wait for your rope to go all the way down. Some people might think that it automatically concedes the game if you disconnect the client. It does not. The other person just has to sit there waiting. All right, so I will play this, and I will attack with everybody. Did I make a mistake? I did. I'm supposed to have played Saz before playing the Sharp-Eyed, before attacking, so that Sharp-Eyed Rookie would get bigger. But I don't think that my opponent is here anymore, so I don't think it matters. All right, I'll take that action. I will get the 2nd white. Oh no, I don't even have a 2nd white. Whoopsies. I would like to have a 2nd white so that I can unlock my Porcelain Gallery, but I don't think it's happening. Anyways, the next attack is lethal unless they do something. All right, our opponent indeed just disconnected. So, yep, winning by building an aggressive deck. It's real in all limited. To just keep your colors small, stick to just 2 colors, and play a good curve and play to the board. But especially in Phantom Sealed. That's my #1 advice for winning Phantom Sealed quickly. Play 2 colors, play your cheapest creatures, even if it means you have to have 3 or 4 clunkers in your deck. All right. Game 3, and this is a keeper for sure. I will start with Starting Town, and then probably Dollmaker's Shop, and then I think I'll just play Furion. Unfortunately, so many of my red aggressive creatures have equipment themes, and I only have 1 equipment in my deck, and it's really expensive. But, you know, I'd rather be playing cheap creatures than not playing cheap creatures, right? Okay, so I guess I'm forced to pay a pain to starting town here, but that's okay. Jumbo Cactuar was really bad in this format. It was like a D level card or something, which is pretty impressive for a rare that is like technically limited playable. The thing is, if you have a way of giving it haste, then it could be really good. Maybe haste and trample or haste and flying. But a 7-drop that does nothing when it enters is like not where contemporary limited magic is at. Okay, yeah, that's something pretty good that my opponent is already doing. Oh, this card is like, when it comes down, I'm in trouble. I think I actually have one of those. Well, let's go ahead and play Furion. So potentially, if I could equip Jumbo Cactuar, that would give it haste. Just something to keep an eye on. I also will be able to flip the Porcelain Gallery this time around. Oh, I loved this card in LCI. All right, so let's go ahead and attack, make a 1/1, play Lush Portico, and I'm looking forward to the Surveil. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then that would be 7. I actually think I do want this land because I have something to do on 6, which is unlocking my Porcelain Gallery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so that'll be next turn. Then the turn after, I can play Jumbo Cactuar, and then I'm closer to summon Bahamut. Wishing Well. What a random one. Okay. You can cast something. You can cast an instant from your graveyard. Yeah, this kind of card typically does nothing in limited. Wishing Well, I don't think it was playable at all in Bloomburrow. However, my opponent's kind of cooking here, right? They can discard their hand to flip the journal. Maybe that puts some instants or sorceries into the bin. I mean, this is kind of cool. I'm actually kind of rooting for my opponent now. No, they didn't do it. I thought that would have been awesome, though. Imagine if you build around Tarian's Journal and Wishing Well, it lets you like turbo out some kind of crazy instant. That would just be so awesome. I wish they had done that. But okay, in we go. Make another toy, and all my creatures have base power and toughness 3/3, which is nice. That's nice. I don't mind it at all. And every time I attack, they get bigger. Base power and toughness. So it does shrink the toughness of the Cactuar, right? And this is copying triggered abilities. Yeah, so this kind of thing, these kinds of cards really do not do anything in limited. Like a 2/4 being so understated against all these toys really matters. However, I will say, like, this is a weird limited format. This is the time to play around. And I love cooking with cards like this. I super respect that my opponent is going there. But aggro is just going to win so much of the time. Now, I think because we're playing only with rares, I actually think maybe I do not play the Cactuar here. It is so possible that my opponent is about to just slam down a board wipe. Look, they're in white and black. The two board wiping colors, essentially. So no board wipes so far. All right, well, let's attack and see if we get there. This thing has reverse lifelink. So they almost can't block with Cecil. And then I think I will play Charred Foyer instead of the Cactuar if they somehow survive this. I guess there's Exile all attacking creatures is a rare in a recent set, but they would need 2 white for that one. So I'm feeling pretty optimistic here. I don't think there's that much for the color combination of colors that they have, but what do you know? Like when the person could have any rare in basically any recent set. All right, did we get there? It looks like it. Very nice. All right. Let's see what our cosmetic was. So yeah, that's my strong recommendation when you're playing this kind of event. Play 2-color aggressive decks, play your cheapest cards, play to the board. These are good limited principles in general, but especially for these silly game modes when everyone's just off doing all sorts of wild stuff. Yeah, it turns out to be a really nice way to quickly get a shiny Opulent Clomper, which I don't even know what that is. Is that like a Lorwyn alchemy thing? Cool. Awesome. Very good. All right. have tons of fun playing Magic, everyone. I'll be posting, obviously, maybe a bit of a more serious one tomorrow. I'm planning on actually doing some Lorwyn drafts. So if you'd like to get better at Magic right along with me, do go ahead and click subscribe and watch my draft tomorrow. And until then, have tons of fun playing Magic, everyone, and don't be afraid to splash.